Hi, my name is Cody Carlson from the Preston Stotz equipment. I've been here 23 years. I work on just about everything from choppers to tractors to construction equipment. So we work on almost everything, except for large balers I don't do. It's crazy that I'm even here because there was a guy working here at the time when I got started, and I was working on semi-trucks, and he actually called me and says, hey, these guys are looking for some mechanics. Do you want to come in and talk to them? And so I came in, and then about 3 weeks later, they hired me on, and so I came to work here just thinking, because I was working like a night job, and it was a day job, and I'm thinking, well, it'll work for a few years. Well, here I am, you know. So I'm just born and raised in Preston. Been here pretty much my whole life, other than when I went to college. And then when I got out of college, I worked at a mine in Wyoming for a little while, but I eventually moved back. So I really never fully moved out of Preston, you know.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Idaho State. A lot of it comes down to this company's been really good about educating people. And for me, I mean, I've actually been able to go to Germany to the factory to check out some things. And so I wouldn't say those are milestones, but I think those are pretty cool growth opportunities to expand and to just see how this stuff all just comes together. How, as a world, some of the stuff ends up here, or it ends up in Germany, or how they do it in Germany. So
all of that travel has been a part of the John Deere certification?
Yeah, well, I mean, everything but Germany. Germany was, we had a customer that wanted to go over there, and Chris John, the store manager, he's like, you want to go? Get your passport. And I was like, cool, you know, because I never had any dreams of going out of the United States, and just, I'm not a traveler. So for me, I was like, let's get, you know. So, but, you know, milestones is just like for me starting out, I never came from the ag background.
Oh, really?
And so kind of was like, well, I guess we'll figure it out, you know. So to hit those, you know, I talk about those schoolings, but to, you know, to become a better mechanic, and then, you know, I'm in the shop, and then, you know, the next thing you know, you have a big service truck, you're going mobile. Till 2008, all of us were just in that front shop, and then 2008 we expanded and we got both these big shops. And so that was, you know, that's been good.
Are you out in the field much?
I am more in the summer, but I mean, I've been out in the field a few times this week, but I've had a lot of winter work I've been trying to get going on, you know. There's a lot more equipment now than when I started. So that's, you know, that's another milestone, is we've added on a lot of equipment in the area. And this place, you know, it's happening. I'm kind of the emergency guy sometimes. Like I'm friends with them, and you know, and if I'll see him uptown or see him at a basketball game or something, you know, we'll talk or whatever. But I don't know. I'm just kind of the one that, you know, seems like if I'm around, you know, hey Cody, what do I do with this or whatever? And, you know, like I say, it could be an emergency, or it could be just kind of helping them stay here. You know, as far as, you know, they appreciate how, you know, the respect that I give them, but then they give respect back. And what's crazy is sometimes in the summertime, like I'll be just busy, just working around the clock, you know, and all of a sudden I'll get a call from him, and he'll be like, I'm like, oh, what do you break down? He'd be like, what's going on, Mike? And he'd be like, dude, I'm just calling to tell you thanks. My equipment's been going good, and I haven't talked to you. And I'm just like, oh. but you know what I mean? And he says, hey, you know, pretty much, I just appreciate what you've done, you know. And, you know, and I've had more than just him, but he's a guy that's done it numerous times. When I started mechanicking years ago, or technician, or whatever you want to call it, I just wanted to work on the equipment, fix it, ship it out the door. As I got older and more involved, you start to create relationships, or you start to, I don't know, even like with your fellow mechanics, you know, I didn't really care to talk to people. I was just like, let me just fix my stuff. That's what I'm here to do, you know. But growing, you know, and getting older and stuff, I got a lot of good friends, you know, throughout our customer base that even like if I ever get old enough to retire or make enough money, you know what I mean, and I see them uptown, or we see, you know, we're gonna talk and catch up and you know, have a good time with what we have going on. So I've really enjoyed, like for me, that kind of brought me out of my shell of kind of being an introvert. You know, you can get a lot of things done by yourself, but it can be boring too. Like when I'm in that service truck all summer long, driving around, it kind of gets boring. Like kind of almost start talking to yourself. It's like a little bit weird, but when you're here, it's kind of fun to joke. But sometimes it's like, you know what? It'll be easier with another hand.
Yeah.
Just be like, Eric, help me for a minute, or Wyatt, help me for a minute, or Howard, help me for a minute, And then they're like, they'll be like, well, I helped him, so and they'll be, hey, Cody, come in for a minute. It's just kind of just having that, just that relationship of kind of working together.
Yeah.
You look at the Tech of the Year. I didn't get that, by myself. All these other people that somewhere helped, or maybe even they did it. You know what I mean? It wasn't all me. You want to be reliable, honest. It's just easier to do work when you're honest. People just, Cody, if it needs it, do it. It's like, well, I gotta tell you about it. It's like, they're like, no, I trust you. Just please, when it's fit, when it's done, it comes back. I want it working. You know what I mean? So just that presence of looking at this piece of equipment and going, if this was mine, how do I want to receive it back?
So you've done this for 23 years.
Yes.
Are we planning on another 23? And if so, how do you stay kind of motivated? Like, what keeps you going?
Depends on if God gives me the help.
Yeah.
Health. You know what I mean? The help to do it, because I honestly don't know what else I would do. So if the health's there, absolutely. Give somebody advice on, just stick with it. Be determined. With a lot of bad days, you get a lot of growth.
Yeah.
That's where you get maybe troubleshooting skills, or just those things that shape and make you a seasoned technician.
Sure.
So sometimes you're like, man, I've had a bad day with this, I've had a bad day with that. It's like, okay, but you're growing.
Yeah.
Are you moving forward? Are you coming back to work every day and going after it? You're gonna grow from it. Well, I'll probably cry, but I want to thank my wife.
You guys been married a long time?
24 years.
Okay, so you got married a year before you started here?
Yeah. I don't do this much, but my wife and my kids, Nick, put me in for this tech ward, and I've worked with Chris a long time, and he's been awesome.
Yeah.
But pretty much all my Stotz team, as far as the fellow mechanics, Howard, when I started working here 23 years ago, Howard had been here about 5 years, I think.
Okay.
And so I think he's been here 28. But him and I have had some good relationships. But I've worked with Jason in parts.
Yeah.
See, Jason started, I think Jason's been here 5 months longer than me.
Okay.
So he's been here a long time, and then, you got the guys up in the parts, and then, and there's so many of them. But then but throughout the years, I've worked with Tom Wheely, and I really enjoyed him as a service manager.
Yeah.
I worked with Lane Richens for about 7-8 years, and I've worked with, and I still to this day I'll talk to Sam and Nephi, and he's been, he knows choppers really well, better than I do, and so I use him as a resource, and he's been very, very good. I enjoy, like I said, I enjoy a lot of people in this company, but that's pretty much about the gist of it.